So I actually look at during the weekend. I saw what happened 2020 because I know some people might also seeing different way, and I'm not saying that this is 100% accurate. But then as I was just watching the guys who talks about the biblical cycle, his name is, I think, Bo or something. What's his name again? His name is the Bo Pony or something. But anyway, so he's kind of looking at the biblical cycles and the time period and stuff, and then I think he applies to current era and stuff. He said that years, he's not sure about the year, but I think he's looking at this year as well. But he mentioned about the March, between March and July, right? And which kind of in line with what I'm looking at. He says, the fraud is gonna be found out. So I think there's a lot of things are kind of lining up. Not only just looking at the fractals way. There's people who looking at the what's going on in the market, the financial market. I think I like the fact that he kind of point out when you guys watch this video, I think he point out the fraud.
What a coincidence, because there aren't any. But the water kept ordinary people to do extraordinary things, and that's the point where you're going with this. Moses did.
I think in the beginning, I think he talks about the fraud, right?
50%, 80%, I don't know. He funneled massive chunks of it back to the politicians who sent it to him.
So so he did kind of mentioning about some political stuff, but I think something is going to happen for sure. So I took a look at what happened here in the cycles, and I did find out that so last cycle, after March earning, there was a sharp decline, and then this thing had a rally, right? I mean, it was it popped, and then it goes upside down, and then create a huge a cup and handle kind of formation, and then this thing start to rally. So I took a look at what happened here, right? So I just kind of brought in just to see, because I know the fact that the cycle is definitely now different than 2020, but I think it's more likely the May repeat of the last year May run. So I brought this in to match with the time frame, because I know some area, especially this area, was somewhat. 1 second. Yeah, I'll just keep it to regular here. So just to kind of see where we are heading, right? And I just wanted to compare to the 2020 year cycle. And I did find out that, because this is the March earning and decline, right? And if I bring the chart, bring the fractals here, yes, that's when the rally happened, but it was much more massive run. And then it kind of have a pullback, which what happened here, and pop, which is here, come back, go down, and then create a kind of a circle, right? Round circle, and this thing start to kick off. But we have a much more, compared to 2020, like, I'm not saying we are going through a 2020. I don't think we are going through a 2020. I think Roaring Kitty and the long forces, or whoever behind the scene, already have a plan for this year. So this year is different cycle. But what I'm trying to say is just I just want to see a comparison, right? What happened in 2020 cycle and what happened now in 2025. And because someone, I know there's a people out there who look at their own the technical analysis, and then some guy kind of point out that what if we are here, right? Because there's a earning coming out, and maybe they usually drop after earning or something like that. And I do see what he's kind of seeing. He said, oh, what about we are kind of doing this, maybe we could have a more decline, and maybe we're gonna see some sort of a May run. So yeah, but I don't know. I took a look at different way, and I don't know. I personally don't think this is the maybe fractal they're doing it. I don't know. Maybe not. But because the fact that we have to run, we have to continue to moving higher, because this is when you compare to 2020 cycle, which we are somewhere in the middle, maybe midway, or even like maybe quarter. But yeah, after this March earning, sharp drop, and then this thing pop, right? And I think there's a reason why RK got in here, create some sort of a fractal. We did sort of create a round cup shape, but compared to 2020, we had a much more further decline, right? So it already declined further than 2020 cycle, right? So what that means is that I don't think we could go even the downward. Maybe this thing start to kick off, right? So I think people are also expecting some RK tweet because the St. Patrick's Day. I think so. I'm gonna show you this is the first. I just want to show you the first one with the 2020 cycle, because I want you to kind of look at the cycle, right? Are we going downward? Are we going more upward from here, right? I mean, this is all speculation, not financial advice, but when you look at it, we already have a longer duration of maybe accumulation phase already happened here. So now things has to move, and maybe fraud is now starting to come out from Bad Bath Beyond side. We saw there's a shipping company settle about 300 million or something, over 300 million, right? $3 million. And then MMTLP also, there's the Soponas happening, and then Citadel, Virtue, and DTCC has to show up. So I think something's brewing definitely here. The question is when, right? The question is when this thing's gonna start to explode, and that's the everyone's questions, which I'm also trying to figure out what month or which phase is going to happen. So based on that, I'm trying to figure out as well, and that's why I wanted to compare with 2020 cycle. Are we going to go down even further? Are we start to pushing this up? And that's the question that I was asking too. But I don't think this is 2020 cycle. But the reason I wanted to compare is we should start to pushing upside, and this is the 2021 squeeze area, which it seems to happen in June. But as I mentioned, because the fact that we are not the environment period is different, and I think the way the Fed at the time, the Fed prints a lot of money, so maybe there's more liquidity. The algo speed up. Algo is much more faster than now, so a lot of things are different. So I don't think we cannot really compare to 2020. But what we can compare is the cycle, right? So we had a much more downward here compared to 2020. So now I do expect a higher movement here. Okay. I don't think we're gonna see us. Okay, so I know there's a guys. I talked to some other people, TA people, and they throw their own chart. And I appreciate that. And not saying I'm perfect. And I don't know anything. I'm just looking at the cycles, and then, I'm just throwing it out, and maybe this can help. Maybe some people visualize what they're also looking at, and this can help you compare to what you're looking at, something like that, right? just bouncing ideas. You can think about that way rather than this is the perfect way of looking at it. So I think squeeze is not going to happen, in my opinion. The final MOASS, I think it's going to take more time. Let me just check my mic just 1 second, just to make sure if this is okay. All right. Yeah. So the fact that so some people looking at this in June. I know the Bo Polinior guy, the biblical cycle guy, he talks about July. Some people also speculate maybe 741. That's the Ryan Cohen's number. So maybe that's the final squeeze date. There's a lot of speculation. So and I thought that also maybe a month of 7, like July, is maybe RC could use that month for some sort of a catalyst. And but I personally don't think, in my opinion, maybe July is the month, because I don't know, I might be wrong, but this I just want to show you this is 2020 cycle. The reason I say that is because now I'm gonna show you the 2024 April-May run with the fractals, and why I think the MOASS is not going to happen in June. Rather, it will happen end of the year, possibly near November or December. And then and I do like I do want to point out that Ryan Cohen mentioned about the Teddy make Thanksgiving great again, which is November. And then I'm just want to bring this chart here 1 second. So now I want to go back, and then I want to show you the comparison between 2024 April and May. So we had a much more downward. Let me just bring this, pop this up here, much more brighter fractals. So I mean, it is definitely very challenging to see how much this thing goes up or how much this thing goes down. I mean, it's definitely hard to kind of see, okay, is it gonna rally in March, is gonna rally in April, is gonna rally in June, is gonna rally in May? Like, it's just it's very hard to speculate. But there's a hint. I think there's a number of the hints that we can kind of detect and find out what we can expect based on some of the indicators. So on the right side, this is 2024. This is April, right? So after this accumulation in April, this thing start to kick off, and then there's a pullback, right? So I just show you the 2020 cycle. So this is 2020 cycle, and now I'm gonna show you the May run. April and May cycle. I think April and May cycle matches much more perfectly than the 2020, right? So let me just kind of bring this one up here. Yeah, in a much more bigger screen. So now if you can compare to this, so maybe I change the color. So the red is 2020. The blue is April and May run last year, right? So now you see the difference, right? So after March earning, there was a pullback, there's a pop, which is the same phase. That's when Roaring Kitty created this fractals here. It goes up and down like what happened near as 2020. It goes up and down, create a kind of round circle, like a cup, creating a cup and handle. Now this thing has to kind of break above this level if this want to squeeze in the next phase. So I think they have to retest this area, right? They can't just break this area without retesting this one. So I do expect we should retest this area, which is $60 range. So yeah, I think we need to start to seeing some upper movement in April, near April and May. I mean, yeah, I was expecting somewhere between March and April, but yeah, it seems like maybe a month delay. But it's like I said, it's not something that we can determine. The speed of algo, the how they run the market, the cycles, and it's really up to market makers and who or maybe long forces, or it's always they're fighting each other, right? Long forces and short forces. So, and then it's much more complicated than that, right? When you look at the what's going on with the swaps, when you look at the market news, from some of the Twitter X popular posts, yeah, there's like swaps, expiration day or quad witching coming. Now I saw there's a Credit Suisse contract is going to absorb by UBS, right? So there's more things going to happen than just, oh yeah, why there's a delay, right? So yeah, I think this guy posts really well. So this one, yeah. So from DTCC, I'm pretty sure everyone saw this one. So upcoming this week, March 21st, all open contract will be assumed by UBS. So basically, the Credit Suisse, they're just taking over the Credit Suisse bags, right? There's a cat shit, dog shit, all that kind of shit bags. UBS gonna carry them over, right? So yeah, something's gonna definitely happen, but it's going to be this week, right? I mean, that's the question, right? That's the question that everyone's is thinking of. And I took a look at it, and then based on this cycle, I don't think we're gonna go even downward, because it's supposed to create a higher low, I think, and I think they're just dragging more time, really, just to yeah, I don't know, just shake people off or something, I don't know, but that's kind of how I see it, right? So now what we have to see is this pop this week. I was expecting some tweets, but no tweet happened. But it might happen maybe tomorrow, after market close. Something's gonna happen tomorrow after market close. So let's take a look at. So now you saw there's a comparison between 2020 cycles and last year April May cycle, right? So let's see the comparison between last year April May, and then see where we at exactly. So when you look at this one, so this is the 1 2 3. So I mean, I already kind of covered this one before, but yes, this one hit 1 2 3, 1 2 3, hit 1 2 3 here, hit 1 2 3 here. So this lines is getting lower, which is kind of similar thing happened here. So that already passed. Now this thing, now we are moving on to this one, had a pullback. There's a pullback, right? So heading into this red zone here. I'm just gonna clear this one up. 1 second. Yeah. So there's a pullback, and I think this is when things are really complicated, because as you know, this accumulation happened in 8 days, but it took about 79 days. So let's say 80 days. So it's 10 times longer than here. So now this one, it took about 7 days to create these fractals. But now it takes about 136 days, which is like way more than 10 times. So it's definitely extremely difficult to predict what they're actually doing. But let's take a look at now here. So now we are moving on to this red zone area. So we see the pullback, which will happen here. So I want you to look at between the RSI and MACD. So this is RSI. So there's a pullback happen, hit the bottom. Also MACD hit the bottom, and then this thing go up and down, right? It does twice. Here it's hard to look at it, but it does kind of do similar way. So go up and down, right? And then that's what they create this one. So this is what was created. So this is now done. So now moving on to the second part, which is this part. This one just go up and down, right? And this one just do a 3 kind of wave here, 1, 2, 3. So that's why it was very difficult to predict. But that's what they did here. And then after that, it's the final one, which is go pop, right? There's a pop, and then pullback, right? Which happened similar to this one. So there was a little pop, and then final pullback. So I think the bottom is in, and as you can see, this is the third one. So this is pop, second one, right? Pop, and then pullback, and then hit the bottom here. Same as MACD. Just go up, down, go up, down, right? So I think it's did exactly what happened here. I mean, and now the next fractal is going to be this one, right? So it has to pop. I'm just gonna drop an arrow. I'm just gonna drop an arrow. So yeah, I think so. Last Friday there was a recovery. Just the fact that because this is much slower than the April-May run, I think we might be somewhere here. So tomorrow we might see some more recovery, and then I want to see this thing like just pop. And then I think in order to create this pop, I think Roaring Kitty has to tweet. So I'm expecting I was expecting today, but he didn't tweet. So I think expecting tomorrow, 8 p.m. after market close, or maybe something happened, right? Some news could drop, right? So it could just pop and come back. So that's kind of one thing I'm looking at here. So let's see let me show you the RSI here first. So this is 8 hours, and this is on the right side is 30 minutes. The difference, why there's a huge difference between the time frame is because last year, as I said, the algo was a lot faster. Right now, algo is a lot slower. So we have to look at it much more longer frame to match with somehow with this one. Anyway, so by Friday pop, the RSI start to breaking out of this pennant formation, which what happened here as well. It does all this kind of stuff, and then start to breaking out of this one. So tomorrow, yeah, we want to see this thing. I think we already test this one already. Yeah. So tomorrow, yeah, I need to see this, continuous movement here. I'm wondering if there's gonna be a little pullback here. Yeah, I don't know, but I think if I'm expecting we're somewhere here, so I need to see more recovery and then pop. But when this thing pop, I'm expecting somewhere here, because last time there was in this phase, in the second in February 13, this thing go all the way to $31 or $30 range. And when you draw a line from the top to here, it give you somewhere here like that. And that's the end of the triangle formation. So I'm expecting either here or here near earning. They're gonna go up to touch this range, and then they're gonna retest a few times like here, 1 2 3 1 2 3 before breaking out. So yeah, that's the confirmation that I want to see, right? So I want to see more few more attempts, maybe 1 2 3 like that throughout April, maybe end of March or April, early April. Yeah, so I think this, I don't know, it really depends on the what's going to happen here. But something's gonna happen in April. I don't know what's the catalyst gonna be. Maybe it's related to Beth, or maybe under another company, or T0, or digital dividend, or I don't know, any special announcement that could drive the stocks and maybe the force short sellers to cover their short positions, right? So some sort of an announcement or some sort of a catalyst, some sort of events could be announced here, around here. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. The fact that they're dragging out even further than I'm expecting. And then, yeah, even if we have an earning, I think we might pass the earning and then have some sort of a drop here. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at. Also, when you look at what happened here in April, you see this when you draw a line all the way here, it perfectly making a triangle formation here, and then after that this thing broke out of it, right? So it hit here, and hit this area, and when you apply the same logic, this was the high, hit here, which means that somewhere between this week or next week, it has to touch this level, $28, right? $29, $28, right? And then maybe here, and that's the end of formation. Also curious if they're gonna drag it. I mean, it really depends, I guess, but I don't know if they're gonna drag it all the way up here, which is April 21st. That's interesting. So that's another question, right? So it's not really up to me. It's really the market makers. It's really the long forces, Roaring Kitty, whoever controlling this thing, or whoever behind the scene. So it really depends. We see this, maybe see this, see that, and they might drag it all the way to here, right? And this is April 20. And that's when Roaring Kitty, when you look at the December, let me just pull that out. Roaring Kitty. Oh shit, where's post? Oh, you know what's interesting? His post got moved to replies. I don't know why. Yeah, that's really odd. But anyway, when you look at this post, a lot of people does their calculation with this number. I think this is just the date, in my opinion. So January 9th. January 9th was here. It was like the pick right before pullback. And then 420, April 20. That's right there. April 21st. April 20 is not here. I mean, April 20 is like a holiday, right? Oh, Sunday. Is it Sunday? Right, Sunday. So yeah, okay, so he might tweet on, I mean, there's something's going to happen here. That's what it exactly is doing. So my question is, if that tweet is about this one, and that's when he's going to blow this up. April 20. No, April 21st, Monday. So hold on one second. So it might be, so I'm gonna just pull this back so you guys don't have to see this one. I'll probably use that later, but oh shit, it's gone anyway. Okay, whatever. So so this is the general fractals with this one, but as I said, the timing is something that we cannot control, but we could see kind of, you know, just ballpark of you know, where this is gonna go. I think this is the bigger picture, but this thing could be stretched out. You know what I mean? Like here, like that too. And then near April 20th, that's when things could blow up. You know what I mean? So it really depends. You know, it could be stretched out, right? It could be stretched out like that. You know? So this is extremely difficult to figure out, right? Some fractals, if you match it, yeah, maybe it could, you know, happen here. But the fact that every time, not every time, all this line is completely, like, it touches all, or retests all this level before breaking out perfectly. It's like an art, you know. It touches here, touches here, touches here, touches here, touches here. It touches here, which means that somewhere here between this line, it will touch it somewhere here, here, and then breaking out, right? So yeah, I think we might have to wait until April. Maybe, you know, they might do this and then start to breaking out of it. So yeah, let's see. That's kind of how I see it. So maybe if this happened, maybe by Thursday, this will go up to $28. There's a gap anyway, so you know the setup is clearly there. There's a gap here at 20 something, right? 28, 29. 1 second. Okay, there you go. So there's a gap. They left here at 26 at 35 cents. Yeah, so they're gonna fill this gap here, right? And then pull back by earning. After earning, pop again. We test this again, right? And maybe pull back. I don't know what this third thumping going to what's the cause of the thumping wave for the third one, but maybe it's some sort of another, you know, news, or I don't know, like well, whatever, you know, whatever news just comes out, you know, they, you know, market makers or hedge fund, they can always make shit up, AI writers, right? And then, you know, cause it to move up to create to finish up the fractals. Final pullback heading into April. What's the OPEX for April here? Let's see. I think it's like 17 or 18. I think it's like a 1 day early or something. Yeah, so this is kind of crazy, isn't it? It's just dragging out quite a lot, you know. When you look at it, the fractals only just few more fractals left, you know, when you look at the images. But then the time, they can always drag it out, and that's what they do, right? So they can so I think, like I said, you know, Rogan Kitty mentioned about that, you know, the 420. I think 420 mentioned. I think he meant is Sunday, and if he drops something, you know, 21st, that's, you know, he could create a gap up, you know, start run, or it could be maybe completely different, you know, something, you know, maybe it could, you know, we could see a merger announcement, we could see a big, you know, announcement, right? So I think that's kind of what I'm seeing here. So from March to April, we might see we only have this fractal left before run, but as I said, they can drag this one out. So just to just to consider that. If anybody play options, it's definitely difficult to track, but that's the one thing that I kind of noticed here. So they left the gap here at $32, so I expect that this will be filled when these things start to kick off the rally. And they have to retest this level, which is a 60 to 77 or $78 level, before breaking out of this thing. So I do expect once we're gonna hear some sort of a news, or we're gonna hear some sort of announcement. I have no fucking idea. But since I'm a Bed Bath Beyond shareholders, I see some sort of Bed Bath Beyond. I think there's more announcement will come out, such as the fraud, or I don't know, some announcement, or exit chapter 11, maybe somewhere there. Because Bed Bath Beyond entered chapter 11 near, I think somewhere in the mid-April or something. Was it April 17? Right? So if they exit in the same time when, okay, let me just check when Bed Bath Beyond file chapter 11. April 23rd. So April 23rd is 2023 is when Bed Bath Beyond filed chapter 11. So if Bed Bath Beyond comes out around this time, and maybe GameStop maybe do something with BBBY, I mean, yeah, something's gonna happen here. I think something's gonna happen here in April. And if this starts to kick off, we have to also be careful. There's some pullback stage here. I mean, yes, pullback phase here, 3 times. But I think this one is a little bit longer. So we don't know how long is the duration. But let's say if this is the case, right? So maybe after April OPEX, they're gonna run this thing. And this week we have a FOMC meeting, right? So I think FOMC meeting, maybe this thing will run before FOMC, right? And then maybe they're gonna crush it, something like that. I think, there's so much market events happening this week, right? So we have FOMC, so it seems like, because if we're here to see a first dumping wave here pop, maybe they're gonna run this thing before FOMC. They're gonna pull this back after FOMC, and then they're gonna do a second thumb wave on the after earning, and then pull this back. The third wave, I have no idea, and pull this back again. They're gonna leak some news, just some fake news maybe, create a third thumping wave, pull this back, and then enter here. Roaring Kitty comes back, starts shooting up, maybe, just speculation. Entering to April, end of April, pullback by May. May OPEX is let's see when is a May OPEX. May OPEX is 16. So last time we saw a blow up on the same week as OPEX, but before OPEX. So it blew up on Monday, Tuesday. So these OPEX week, they're gonna drag it out, I guess. So it makes sense. So after OPEX week of the May, this did blow up, and then heading into June, hit the high of maybe, don't look at the price, but as I said, we have to retest this level, the 60-70 area. So maybe somewhere retest that one, pull back, right, and then do whatever they do here. And then stay above this area until this thing starts to breaking out of this one. So and then the final MOASS will be end of the year, in my opinion. And I know some people don't like to hear this kind of stuff, and I don't like to hear this kind of stuff too, but it is what it is. It's just low liquidity environment, and then they just need to take more time. It says January, right? So now I see January. So yeah, maybe this could be another recall of 2021 of January. Blow up to 500 or something, So anyway, I think that's when merger is gonna happen. So I to be honest, for me, guys, I know some people don't like to hear about Bed Bath Beyond, but because I'm a Bed Bath Beyond shareholders, and I've been seeing a lot of filings and what's going on with the company, I have a huge conviction in the company. That's why I was into Bed Bath Beyond, and I got in BBBY for a squeeze, but I realized it was much more bigger than that. The more I study about BBBY, the more I discover how big the fraud is involved. Same as I think MMTOP. I don't know a lot about MMTOP stuff, but it does seem that there's also frauds, right? I remember there was a post like they did a merger, and then the stock price like somebody discovered like couple thousand or 4,000, and then the FINRA blocked them, and then their shares are gone or something. I don't know, but anyway, so yeah, I think there's a reason why Dinesh Patel is now FBI director. Trump also talks about the naked short selling, right? The whole thing. The Elon Musk, all the people who hate short sellers, kind of all stick together right now. So I think this year is the kind of like cleanup operation year, and we just have to look at this as a little bit of a long, not a long term. I mean, you could see it as a long term, but also a little bit of a longer time frame. The fact that, all they can do is just dragging out, right? So, and then I think we're winning. I was looking at this video, and I think I really like this one, so I just want to share with you guys. I'm pretty sure, this has been shared a lot, in the community, but I did find that it's very nice. So let me just bring this one here. Where did I save it? That's the question. Maybe I forgot to save it. 1 second, guys. I do remember save this one. So I think it was in my folder here. Naked short selling. Maybe in the market. Yeah, I did want to show you this one because this is very interesting post. Oh yeah, this one. So this was posted by Citizen. He's also Bed Bath Beyond shareholders, but I like this post because he did post a few shots very nicely. It has a nice connection. So Ryan Coin by day. So by day, he act as himself. By night, he act as an active investor, right? So Warren Buffett, Call Icon, their Call Icon is active, very well known active investor in the Wall Street. Wall Street people hate him because whenever he buys the stock, the stock price goes up, right? So that's very nice. Took a picture with him, and then I like this video, and I wanted to show you this one. And I didn't know this interview was already done 11 years ago. I think Alpha State, he mentioned that. And it's very interesting that he mentioned that it's a game over. Oh, the sound is not. So the interview was done around 11 years ago. And then it's odd that how everything connects with GameStop, Bed Bath Beyond, whatever, the AMC or whatever, but it like a whole financial, the fraud, the manipulation, naked short sellings, and all that stuff, it seems all connected. But they're definitely, like, it's a very simple term. Like, if somebody lose money, somebody's gonna win the money, right? So that means that it's really the forces versus forces, right? It's the fight between the good and evil. And then the evil part is those market manipulators, short sellers, naked short sellers, maybe market makers, hedge funds who leverage themselves with the swap, derivatives, and all that kind of crazy stuff. And those are the evils, who are very, very greedy. And then Now the good guys comes in, so they wanted to change the America, right? The bad guys who are in the Wall Street, they want to destroy America. They don't care about America. They don't care about the states. They don't give a shit about the people, because all they care about is themselves. They want to just make profits through illegal activities, such as naked short selling. But anyway,
and sees that.
But this interview was done 11 years ago, and then
he looks across.
He said the game is over.
He knows
right?
that his opponent sees it too, so there's no getting out of it. So at this point, the loser can only prolong the game. The game, both players know the game is over. It's only a matter of time before he does this, and then you're forced to do this, and then he's forced to do this, and eventually checkmate.
So he's saying that the both players already know who's gonna win and who's gonna lose, right? Who's going to lose. But the interesting thing he mentioned is that the opponent who knows they're gonna lose, they can only prolong the game, which means that they're gonna delay it, right? And a lot of people mention about, whatever my prediction is, like people talks about like the goalpost, is moving again. It's not me, it's them. Okay, they're prolong the game because the fact that they already know that they lose, they accept the loss, but all they have to do is buy more time until something breaks and some events kicks in, right? And they have that excuse to force their short covering, right?
There's no getting out of it. So at this point, the loser can only prolong the game. The game, both players know the game is over. It's only a matter of time before he does this, and then you're forced to do this, and then he's forced to do this, and eventually checkmate. We, as a race, if we could understand that the game is over, that based on the rules of the game, the bad guys have already lost, the good guys have already won. Yes, there's moves left on the table, but those moves are being forced by the player that is going to win. The only way that checkmate can't happen is if the player that's winning makes a mistake.
And so he mentioned that so he said the good guys are winning, right? But the only things that they could lose is if they make mistakes. And as a BBBY shareholders, a lot of people are waiting for the announcement. A lot of people are already waiting for when, when it's going to happen. And as this guy says, it's about the timing, right? It's about the right time to, ignite the fire, right? They've been waiting for 2 years because of the protection of NOL. NOL is so important because if this is preserved, then all shareholders will benefit, right? And also benefit the creditors or the acquirers, right? They could use that tax benefit through the NOL. And in order to keep that, in order to protect the NOL, it has to, stock cannot be traded for 2 years at least, and that has been kept. It already passed 2 years. The company has to the media said, oh, it went bankrupt, going out of businesses, but Bye Bye Baby, it was still going on, right? It's still going concern, right? So it's still like selling products and opening stores, doing e-commerce, still running the company. And then I think and then the one of the reason also selling IP to Dreams on Me, and then sold that to Beyond, and Beyond is Affinity or a company that they just only help the company just to run IP, the what do you call it, domains and the website using their IP. They don't run the Bye Bye Baby itself, right? They don't run the business. They only run the e-commerce. They run only maybe the website. Those kind of IP stuff. They don't fully own Bye Bye Baby. So I think that it's very strategic move here and there. They use this company, they use that. There was also a confidential agreement between Overstock with Bed Bath Beyond 2023 before they filed Chapter 11 in January. So when you look at all those kind of things and and connect the dots, it seems to be a very strategic move to me. And when it's going to happen, I think it's going to happen in April. Something like the Bo guy said, right? The biblical cycle guy. He's looking at between March and June, or was it March and July? And I'm looking at the fractals, and I'm looking at what's going on with BBY, how things are going on, and now we got the first big settlements with the MSC shipping company, with the $300 million over. We are waiting for the fraud or the settlements from the previous directors, right? Mark Tritton, right? He did the 100 over $1 billion share buyback, right? And then it was accelerated share buyback, which is the fraud, without getting approved by the board members, right? So so we're just waiting for that. The lawyers just withdrew herself at last week from she was representing Mark Tritton, and then the the board members, and then she just unplug himself, right? So I think that something's gonna happen really, and I think it might take about a month, maybe. I don't think it's gonna happen right away. Maybe like I was looking at it, maybe like it's gonna happen 2 weeks, because the bond surges now. It already above when higher more than 700% or 1000%, and this also similar behavior happens from Hertz right before they accept Chapter 11. So I think something is definitely cooking here, and I think we are very close. And when is the right timing? And that timing has to be lined up with the market cycle, overall market cycle. It has to be very strategic. As this guy said, you cannot make a mistake here. You wait for 2 years, a little bit more than 2 years, and then waiting for another 1 or 2 months, I think should be okay, because it has to be perfect. It has to be it has to drop in the perfect time, in a perfect moment when the cycle has to kick in, right? So that's why I believe that whatever times it takes, from the acquirers or creditors, RC, whatever their move, the long forces, the good guys, we just have to wait for them to move. That's it. We're winning, right?
But from all of the information that I've gathered, all of the information that's been given, all of the information that's been vetted to me, it seems pretty obvious that the good guy player on the side of the chessboard knows exactly what has to be done to win the game. And so at this point, any mistake would be all but impossible.
So as this guy said, the good guys know exactly what they're doing. So I think I know what RC is doing. I think RC knows exactly what he's doing. Carl Icahn is very quiet. His stock price plunged like crazy, but the way he does is Carl Icahn. The way he does is very interesting, because what he does is when I look at his old fractals, like this guy he basically used his stock, right? His whole this is like a holding company, but he used his own company and borrow money, and then he acquired companies, right? So his stock prices looks like shit right now, but it's gonna explode. It's going to explode like crazy. And I think someone here behind the scene is controlling IP. I think that's Brett, maybe. As Poti mentioned, he said maybe Call Icon is not involved, but more like Brett. And he's been very quiet. Why is that? So the stock price kind of holding right there, making a huge triangle formation. And then when you look at what happened to IP before, it tanked here and then have a huge rally. Same kind of cycle here. They tanked it. Maybe they borrow money using their IP. So, they use their IP as a collateral, and then they borrow a lot of money, and then they buy companies, and then it took maybe some times to recover, and then when the bull cycle kicks in, they run, right? Basically, their company is getting better and better. Now they're doing here, and I think very similar cycle as this one, but so let me show you the fractals here. What I'm looking at here is very interesting, because what I'm looking at is they're repeating another golden age of what year is this? This is 2000, early 2000. So what I'm looking at is this one, so something like that. But I might have to just copy from here, but something like that. It has so they borrow maybe a lot of money, and they're doing this kind of stuff, not saying like this going 1,000, but they're just doing a huge accumulation or some sort of a big chess move here, and now they're gonna just fuck around here in this area for a bit, maybe until 2018 or 2029, or maybe 2028, or maybe it's gonna take a couple 3 years or something like that, just go up and down, and then start to run. And then I don't know, they're gonna drag it all the way up here, which is 2034. But I think this is the buy time. I'm not saying you should buy this one, but all I'm saying is I think they're working on something here. And then when that all settle, and this thing start to kick off, and when they report their earning is good, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I think this IP is gonna take some time to recover, but when it start to recover, it will move big time, in my opinion, right? So this thing, and that's how I'm looking at it. That's what I think. They're very hush hush about it. They don't reveal what's going on. The Hindenburg research shut down, and then the last report was attacking Call Icon, right? And then why they suddenly shutting down? And Call Icon said, hey, I'm working with SEC, I'm cooperating with them, and then we report everything to them, but it's confidential, and we're okay to pay some sort of a 90 million or some numbers to pay the fine, not disclosing what's going on to public, but we are okay to pay that fine, and we'll be continue to undisclose what we're doing. And I think there's they're not gonna, they're gonna unpack the box later, but when it's unpacked, then things gonna blow up. So they're I really highly respect what they're doing. I think it's really, really crazy how they turn things around. And we'll see how things goes. But that's pretty much it for today. I hope it helps, just looking at the bigger picture. And yeah, let's see next few days, see this thing, where this thing take us to. If you see GME pop before FMC, maybe FMC is Wednesday, so maybe somewhere there. If something pops near there, then this this thing start, this thing, the first thumping wave started. I know there's several thumping waves, but what I'm trying to say is before run, we need to see this type of 1, 2, 3 thumping waves before the rally, right? So yeah, let's see how that happens, and that's pretty much it for today. So yeah, I'll see you guys in next update. Have a good night.